Hi guys, it's Kim,
And I'm Lola.
and welcome back to Turn the Page, the podcast where two sisters catch up over books, reviews, and all the juicy bits in between. So, what's the plan for today?
So today we will have pick and mix, and then we will go straight into story time, have a characters breakdown, and then we will skip the main plot points for today because it was quite a short book. And then so we'll just go straight into last thoughts and then end with read receipts.
In the outro. Cool.
Oh,
So,
and then voice notes too. Sorry.
true, you need to hear our voice notes. So, we will be talking about Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. She's a Japanese woman. Apologies if I've not pronounced the name correctly. If you are a first time listener, please note you don't have to read the book or even be a reader to enjoy our catch ups. You can just enjoy the ride. Oh, before we go any further, we have a YouTube channel, don't we, Lola?
Oh yeah, we do. You can find us on YouTube at Turn the Page. Oh, sorry. Turn dot the dot page dot podcast. There should be a link in the episode where you can find us.
Perfect. We are still shy, so it is audio only, but at least there are more places to find us. So remember, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram at turnthepage.pod, and now YouTube. So make sure you follow us on all platforms, like, share, subscribe, 5 star, comment, do all the good things to increase engagement.
Let's get into it. Pick a mix time.
What's the number, Lola?
Oh, give us a number. Give us a number. Give us a
Okay,
number.
okay, okay. It's enough. It's enough.
It's life.
5. All right. So this is what makes you give up a book?
If my
So,
face is all scrunched up too much.
oh, what do you mean?
If I'm reading it and I'm just like, what is this? Like, and I'm getting really pissed off.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you won't pursue it.
Unless it was like a book club book or something like that, or there was a reason why I had to finish it, like the podcast, then yeah, I would pursue it. But otherwise, I'm not doing that to myself. I may be missing a lot of books which recover, but yeah, nah.
Is there a certain amount of chapters you give before you stop, or is it like as soon as you get to that point, you're just like, no, I don't care.
If I'm invested in it and I get to that point, like what book was it? One of these romanticities books that at the end it was just that ending was ridiculous. Then yeah, what I'm invested in it. But if it's I just can't do it to myself. So yeah,
Mm,
if it's early days and I'm just like, nah, this was not what I expected. Because it's really hard to gauge what a book's about. So
mm.
like the book that I was just talking about in the beginning, there's I don't want to spoil it, but there's a theme in the book that if you read the blurb that is not mentioned at all. There was a bunch of people on us. You know how you use these things to see analyze the book.
Yeah.
Uh, Nisha in our podcast in our book club group also has something like that, and there was a bunch of people like flagging that this is a big topic of the book. So like some yeah, no, sometimes if you get into a book and it wasn't what you're expecting and it's just badly written and stuff like that, I'm just like, nah, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't quickly get rid of it. Because a bad book really upsets me. When I read a book and it's like 2 star, 1 star, it actually really upsets me and it pisses me off for
Is
like
it because you feel like
days.
you've wasted time, or like what pisses you off about it?
It just genuinely upsets my soul. But yeah, maybe it's the wasted time, but it's just like a good book gets me going, but then a bad book actually demotivates me, it gets me upset, and I'm just like,
Oh
ugh,
wow.
like what the hell?
All in the feels, all in the feels. What's my book ick? I
Would you
think
keep?
it.
I know you would keep going.
I will keep going. It will take me a while though, because
Yeah.
there's a book that I should have finished by now, but it's taken me a very long time to finish it. But I will keep going, and I think it's like you. If I've got something to listen to it for, so for example the podcast, I will have to finish it. But otherwise, it takes me a very long time to finish a book. But I will finish the book.
Mm.
What would be my ick? I think it would just be annoying characters.
Yeah. If the
Or
if the main character is so jarring, it would be annoying.
yeah, or characters that are quite disjointed. So like if I've fought, so let's say from the beginning they started off somewhere. So I think that's one of the things that really annoyed me with what's that first book that we did? The Serpent and the Sat one, that book. I think that's what
Mm,
annoyed me about that is because I had in my mind that the main female protagonist, she was this certain character, and then the way she just switched up and became like any cliche romantic character really frustrated me. But
mm.
yeah, I think that won't make me stop. I would just rage read. I think I just rage read.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Mm.
Reading should be a pleasurable experience. I don't want to feel anything. I want to feel good things.
And I find that so difficult because even when I'm like looking at books to find to read, and I think that's probably the problem with having people's reviews, because I'll be looking
Mm,
at people's reviews or like I'll be watching a YouTube video and be like, okay, here's a top 10 books from this genre. And they will list all the books and I'll go to like Goodreads or something and see like, oh, it's got 3.5 stars. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, should I give this a chance? Should I not give this a chance? Ugh, I don't know. But yeah, I think
I
my main ick is characters.
two things, just on
Mm.
one thing on what you just said. So, yeah, if I look at the average rating and it's below 4, it has to be something about the book that will make me check it out. Because yeah, it's very risky, if it's below 4. And
Hmm.
then I was just looking at on my Goodreads one of the lowest books that I completed, and the general theme was I thought the book was bullshit.
Is that what all the reviews were?
No, that's my personal take on the ones that I'm
Oh.
looking at that are all like 1 star. Like one of them is a non-fiction book, and it's about data bias as a mathematician. I just thought this was so biased in itself. It was so flawed. And then the fiction ones, it's books like, okay, one of them actually shouldn't be this low, but I know why it is that low. But it's so there's another non-fiction book that everyone always talks about this book actually. So I'm not even gonna say it, but as soon as someone says, "Oh, I recommend this book, it's the best book ever," I roll my eyes so hard because everyone talks about this book. I'll text it to you. Everyone talks about this book. I hate this book. But the rest of them, the fiction ones, are ones that were again, they were actually hyped up, but I just read it and I was just like, what is this? Like, it's clearly just trying to meet them. I just thought, yeah, it was just trying to be a hype book. I think those are the books that tend to like get me peed off. Just looking at the ones that I did complete that were 1 star. I guess because they were
Interesting.
hyped, so I kept going.
What about this is going down a different way? Instead of the characters in the book, what about the book itself? Is there something about the look of the book? Because what are your thoughts on imagery on the cover? Like,
Oh no, I don't really care about that, but how much the font bleeds into the book sometimes really I don't it won't stop me going, but it does annoy me. I
mm,
appreciate if there's nice spacing and nice font. But if the
yeah.
font is too, sometimes there will be awkward spacing or a row
Hmm.
where the spaces are more gaps and stuff that really jars me. Or if it's too bled into the pages, it looks too vintage. Which I don't mind some vintage fonts, but there's
Mm.
one that just looks gobbledygook to me. I don't really like it. But yeah, more the fonts. Oh, I was just gonna say, if you don't put effort into the cover, then you just don't put effort into the cover. I'm like, it is nice when they do put effort into the cover though.
Because talking about the font and stuff, what I hate is when I don't know how to explain it without. I've used my hands to explain it, but you know when the text on the page, like there's no margins, it almost goes too close to
Mm,
the margins, and you're almost like, especially when you're trying to open the book, you're
mm,
almost like, and I
yeah.
don't know if that's a printing error, but I've seen it. I can't remember what the name of the book was, and I actually put it down because I was in a bookstore and I put it down because I was like, why does it look like this? And I was like, oh, or like you said in regards to the bleeding, the ink, if it's too dark,
Mm,
I don't know why. If it's some, I'm just like, I don't like this, and I don't like on covers, especially with romantasy books, because in my head I visualize them
mm.
from the description that the author gives, and oftentimes it doesn't sometimes match with the illustration on the covers of some books, and that annoys me as well because I'm like, that's not what they look like. That's not what they look like in my head. I would rather you put other imagery on the book instead. So that's another thing that annoys me.
Yeah, the last couple books I've read, the the front cover has been such a bad misrepresentation of what the book has actually entailed so far.
So, guys, what are your book icks? How do you feel? What makes you give up a book? Or what's the term? DNF? Did not finish. What makes you
Mm.
DNF a book? Do let us know in the comments. Pop us a message on Instagram. Let us know how you feel. Oh, hands
Sorry.
up.
I just want to say it's not actually the characters of the book that pee me off because I didn't like Corday at all. But that's not a book I would have DNF'd. I would have kept on
Mm,
going. It's actually the writing style of the author. If I don't think the author's being authentic, or if I don't vibe with the author, I'm gonna chuck it. Right? The author has
true.
to, yeah.
True, I get what you mean. But you know how when we were reviewing the last book, My Sister the Serial Killer, we had agreed that Corriday is not the best person. But the way the author had made her seem, or made us, it almost felt like the author was trying to make us feel sorry for her.
That didn't work well though.
Mm. To be fair, you know what? The author might not have actually been saying that. The author might actually be like, no, she's actually a terrible person. But it felt like, because of all the things that she was putting around Corriday to make it
Mm,
seem like she had this harsh life, it did make it seem like she hadn't portrayed the character very well. But you're right. Corriday as a character, I think we was like, personally, I don't think we were supposed to like her.
mm.
But it's the
And
author's portrayal.
I liked the author's writing style
Mm,
generally.
yeah, true.
Thoughts?
It's story.
Story.
Once upon a time.
Time.
There we go. That's how it goes. Oh, glad we finally got it. So, guys, this is where I give you a short summary of this book. And this is what I'm going to give you. So, if I had to explain this book to somebody, it is a book about a middle-aged Japanese woman called Keiko who loves working in a convenience store, but the whole world thinks she's mad for being a middle-aged woman who works part-time in a convenience store. Does that make sense?
Yeah, basically, in a nutshell.
It is the gist of the book. So Lola,
Yeah.
take it away with the characters.
Okay, so like Kim said, we have the main character is Keiko Furakura, who has worked at a convenience store for 18 years and finds her purpose in the job. She's 36 years old and she has difficulty navigating social situations outside of work and has learned to mimic the speech and behavior of others, including her supervisor, to blend in. She is seen as abnormal, as Kim said, by her family and society because she is unmarried at 36 and doesn't have a proper job, but she's not bothered at all by this.
Mm.
We then have a key male character
Oh
called
God.
who I would say is the antagonist. If Keiko's the protagonist,
Piece of
Shirahara.
trash.
My review will tickle you.
Mm.
For read receipts. He's a man who is also an outcast like Keiko, who she takes in, but unlike Keiko, he is self-destructive and very
Mm.
entitled.
Victim
Um,
complex, isn't it? Lots of victim complex.
yeah, feels that
Mm.
society owes him things, often talks about alpha males and feels left behind. He ends up moving in with Keiko, but not romantic. And his presence kind of highlights Keiko's differences from others. We also have a few other characters, like I mentioned, her supervisor, Mrs. Izumi. She has a flashy style, and so Keiko likes to imitate her. There's also another co-worker who we meet at Sugawara, sorry, a cheerful co-worker whose speech pattern Keiko mimics. And then we have Keiko's family, her sister, who is particularly bemused by her lifestyle, but they kind of pressure her to get married and find a more conventional job. So when she gets Shirahara, even though her sister's like, what the hell? Her sister's kind of for it. And then we have Miho, a former classmate who befriends Keiko because of her fashion sense, unaware that Keiko is copying Mrs. Izumi's style. And then there are 8 different managers who have worked at the Smile Mart. At the point of reading, we are with manager number 8.
Do we even
Who
know his name? We just know it's
no,
manager number 8, innit? Mm.
yeah. Who Keiko initially liked and she thought he was a kind-hearted man, but then once there was gossip to be had about her, she realized he was just like everybody else, sadly.
Mm. Perfect. Thank you, Lola. So we're going to do this differently as this book is so short. I think I can't remember how many pages it is because you've got the hard copy. I was reading on the Kindle and on my phone. It is actually quite short. So I feel like it was best to just discuss it. So I've done my summary. Lola's done her characters, and I think we should just get into our last thoughts, how we felt about the book. So Lola, take it away. How are you feeling about this book?
Yeah, it's a style of book that I've read quite a bit. So it reminds me of um like Heaven um by Miyako Kawakami, and then The Bizarreness of Haruki Murakami book. So it's like that there's a Japanese kind of vibe undertone to it. And then also because
Mm,
we were into anime and we were heavy into we actually started off with J dramas and then we moved to K dramas before it was a hype. We started off with
yeah.
J dramas, remember, because of
Gosh, remember the hair
what
in J dramas, boy.
what
Do you remember the
anime was
hair?
it that they made into a J drama that we and that's what how we got into it. It was an
Boys Over
anime.
Flowers, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was like
Yeah,
Taiwanese version, a Chinese
yeah.
version,
So
everything.
many versions, so many versions.
And I actually hated Hana Yori Dango. If you remember, I mentioned that already.
Mm.
But I watched that. And there was no, it was something like Android. My girlfriend's an Android. Remember when that was a trend?
Oh yes.
Yeah, because I didn't watch Hana Yori Dango because I hated that. Yeah,
Oh yes, I know what you mean. Oh damn, I can't actually remember
yeah.
the name, but yeah,
Because
I remember what you mean.
that's actually what broke us into K dramas because that was so much better than the J drama. And then we didn't like the tone of the language at first, but now I actually prefer Korean
Yeah, now I'm
to
saying so it's so bad how like it's just like oh, oh.
So
And
yeah,
especially because a lot of the K drama actors were hot as well at that time.
yeah,
There was a lot of
yeah.
good looking
No, there
ones.
was a good 2015, 12, 15. That was a
Yeah.
good era, man. But yeah, so if you get into that vibe, then you will understand this book a little bit more.
Mm,
And I think because this book is quite polarizing, I liked it. I found it hilarious. But then when people were saying that in the reviews, people was like, what part of this book was hilarious? It was very dark and sad. And I was like, yeah, it was a British dark humor kind of thing.
mm.
It was I found it hilarious personally. The ending initially pissed me off, but then it's actually in the spirit of the book. So
And it's the
yeah.
structure. So, talking about that, I thought I'd just jump in because I did some research on this because that's kind of where I was. I was pissed off with the ending because I finished it. And when I mean, I closed the app and then I went to my Kindle to just because I was reading on my phone in the gym. And I was like, shit, maybe my phone's glitched out because where's the rest of the book? So then when I got home, I went to my Kindle and it was like, nah, babes, you're finished. And I was just like, I was like, sorry, what? I was so confused. So I looked into it, and apparently, Japanese writers use something called a Kisha Tenketsu structure. So, ki is introduction, show development, ten twist, and ketsu is conclusion. And the novel follows this structure. It will divide the book into half. So you get the first half where nothing really happens, and then you get the second half where like shit hits the fan, like some mad shit happens, but it also just causes like a subtle change. And if you think about the way this book is, in the beginning, you're just like learning about Keiko and how she is at work, and you kind of get her backstory and the fact that she's definitely neurodivergent. She doesn't see the world the same way everybody else does, but you don't clock how jarring it is for people until the second half of the book.
Mm,
Because in the beginning, you're just thinking, oh, like everybody just knows she's like this and they just
mm.
leave her be. But then you get to the second half of the book where this creep Shirahara guy, I'm just not saying his name right. It's not right. Shiraha, because I feel like there's extra R's in this, but it's not. Shiraha comes and it's almost like this bomb drops into her life that makes it. It's probably because he's also vocalizing it quite like harshly because nobody else has vocalized
So
that she's
intense.
weird.
He's
Yeah,
so, he's so
so
rude.
intense. He calls her a virgin. Her uterus is used up. Like she's what else? He won't be able to get it up for her and all this other stuff. And you're like, rah. Like there was a point where I was thinking, she's only 36, but I guess if you think about Japanese culture, that is a big deal. And she is a 36-year-old in as working as a part-time employee at a convenience store. That is her job. So I think that's quite interesting that as soon as he comes, it kind of just switches it where all of a sudden her friends that she kind of is just placating by, like Lola said, imitating people around her, now start to question, like, oh my gosh, it's so weird that you've not gone into a relationship. Like, you need to get married, and like almost forcing her to get married. Her sister also starts to get weird, and she's like concerned that she's not normal. She says a line, I can't remember what the line was, and she's basically crying over the fact that why can't she be normal or something. And I was like, oh, like people actually think this woman is strange. I just thought we all thought this is just how Keiko was. And that's why I was like, aha, now that I've read that information, I was like, you're right. And another thing that they said was that um, Japanese fiction is very different to Western novels because there's usually not a clear ending. So, for example, in a Western version of this book, you would have had Keiko and Shiraha get married, would probably see their lives getting older, or maybe they'll have children, or some way to close up the book. Whereas with a Japanese book, it doesn't always end like that, and that's why it was so open ended because you were just like, what happened? What even happened to Shiraha? Like we ended with her in the street saying she doesn't want to go to this job interview, and, and the guy's just like shouting to go to the job
in another
interview.
convenience.
Yeah, she was working in another
Yeah.
convenience store.
That's a good point because if you remember The Departed, it's based off of Infernal Affairs, and that is not Japanese actually. I think I want to say Chinese.
Mm.
The original of The Departed. So The Departed is Leonardo DiCaprio. Who's the other guy?
Jack Nicholson.
Yes, Jack Nicholson. I was gonna
Yeah,
say the guy that
Jack
played the
Nicholson.
Joker.
Yeah.
So yeah, The Departed is based off Infernal Affairs, and I prefer Infernal Affairs because the ending of Infernal Affairs is it's a ending like that compared to the Hollywood ending that we have in The Departed is because something about the seven hells and oh gosh, this is such a bad point to make, but basically, yeah, it touches on your point. Like the Infernal Affairs had a different ending because that was the point. The ending being like that was the point of it. Like you're not gonna have something like the seven hells because that's the only thing I remember. Something a Buddhist saying about seven hells is the ending of the movie, and that explains why it's like that. So yeah, definitely on the open ending being, and then also that point about it setting the stage first in that slow burner. Yeah, that's definitely what happens in a Murakami book. It takes a while before it gets to the bizarreness, and then it just ramps it up a notch exponentially.
It's so interesting because now that one thing it did make me feel after I finished the book was like, oh, I want to read more of her books.
Mm,
I did feel
just
like
to get
I was like, oh, let's see what else she's got. Like, but no, I quite enjoyed it. At first, I was a bit like, I don't know about this book. And to be fair, Lola kept saying like, have you finished this book yet? I've been checking your Goodreads, and you're not through this book. And it did take me a while, and it shouldn't have because when I mean, guys, it's such a short book. But I think it was because it was an interesting way to portray. It seemed very mundane until we got to the craziness. Because I was just like, yeah, I guess this is just a lady who's neurodivergent. She likes to work at a convenience store. What is the problem? And then it just goes crazy.
so I didn't find it mundane in that part. So that part was just exploring, which is something that was bugging me, especially during COVID, because you got all these messages about society and community. And it was more like a social commentary
Mm,
about like what did I say about it had a lot of good points about society and conformity. It's
it's true.
explaining all of that. It's basically just going into that because you see it actually kicks off with Keiko reading people and mimicking people's behavior and speech and
Mm,
to fit in. And I was like, oh yeah, because I remember I do that.
mm,
So
mm.
I remember going through that, and then um it goes through her childhood experiences. Like it goes
Yeah.
through like it quickly goes through which were low key hilarious, but how she came to the idea of it basically brings you to that idea of assimilation and conformity. And
Mm,
then there's like a quote that as she got older, being so quiet apparently became a problem itself. And it's
mm,
like people are very disturbed if you're not doing like with social media now and being off social media, for me, I can very much see you guys say certain things. I pick up on some of the slangs too, but people on social media tend to say similar things. And then there was this study of like you can split people into basically six people. There's all these like types, like basically people are just a copy of one another as
Mm,
we
fair.
like as there's so much of us. It's just a simple mathematics actually. It's
Mm.
like normal assumptions. So I did think
Because talking about what you said, just to interrupt, yeah, there was actually because you were so when you were saying, I was like, oh, there was a line in the book that I quite enjoyed, and it said, well, not enjoyed, but that really stuck with me. And the line was, "The world has no room for exceptions and always quietly eliminates foreign objects. Anyone who's lacking is disposed of." And I was like, yeah, that does feel like that. You kind of, and that's what she was trying to not do. So, because she talked a lot of, they thought she was saying weird things when she was a child. Because remember, the reason
mm,
why it got strange was because she saw a bird that passed away or like died, and
mm,
then she was like, let's just eat it. Like,
yeah.
it's a dead bird. And everybody's just like, even the mom was just like, whoa, no, babes, no, we don't just
Mm,
eat dead birds. And then so she would say some other strange things that were peculiar to other people. When she clocked that, they were all shocked by her answers. Like you said, she just went quiet. And then, like
mm,
you said, that became an issue because why are you so quiet? So it's like almost like society's way of like stripping people away. And
mm.
I
But
found that quite interesting.
it's not a society thing as well. It's an animal kingdom. Like if a animal kingdom in
True.
a
They're
pack
two different.
shows any signs of weakness, if the mother births a child from birth, like, and she sees that it might not survive or it doesn't look like the other, she'll try and kill it
Mm,
because it's a sign of weakness to them. You stand out. It's a sign of weakness.
mm.
So yeah, it's a survival instinct that's probably built into us. Like if you're different too much, it's a weakness.
I found, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did. I think I liked Keiko. I actually liked her. I was sat there just thinking, I like you, Keiko. I know everybody thinks you're strange. I think, like you said, I find you quite funny.
Keiko also
She might
had
not like me, but
Yeah, Keiko was hilarious, but she also had a very violent side, which is also
boy, there's a line in the book when she talks about the baby.
stabbing her nephew or his niece.
Yeah. Can I
But
read the line out, please? Can I just say the
yeah,
line? So the baby started to cry. My sister hurriedly picked him up and tried to soothe him. What a lot of hassle, I thought. I looked at the small knife we just used to cut the cake still lying there on the table. If it was just a matter of making him quiet, it would be easy enough. I was like,
you know what's hilarious? Okay, so this is what I wrote about that. Her method of using violence to quieten a situation is a bit wild, but we all get these random horrific violent thoughts. Good to know I'm not alone. Sometimes it is noise. So it was the noise stimulation, and she just wanted it to stop. And I get that really
mm,
like, with my neighbor situation, I get really flustered. Like it really gets on my nerves. But yeah,
mm,
but it was very comical the way that they put it in the book because it would be all of a sudden she would get very violent. Like she saw someone's neck or something. I think this was the same book. I don't know if I'm making it up. And she was thinking about
mm.
slitting the throat or something, but she had a lot of violent thoughts. Yeah, okay, I'm making this up.
Yeah, you're making
It's,
it up
it's,
because she tries to slit nobody's throat, but
that's, that,
she tried to slit
edit,
nobody's throat. Poor
edit
cake.
that,
I'm not
edit that.
editing. I'll keep that shit in.
But yeah, I thought the violent thoughts and like basically, like you said, who's apparently neurodivergent, they never said it explicitly. But
No.
if you are, you would recognize, even if you're not, but
I
if
was gonna
you
say,
are, you would recognize all the little things that she's doing. Like
mm,
it's not that bizarre what she's doing. But
mm,
obviously, another thing is in quite a lot of societies, even in the UK, I would say when you get older, neurodivergence, autism specifically, is kind of like they expect you to master it enough. That's what I feel like. There's not as much when
mm,
you're a child. There's a lot more consideration. People
mm,
kind of know how to handle that. Definitely when they're going through puberty and teenager, that whole violence thing comes out a lot more. But
mm,
when they're older, it either comes out that you get called eccentric a lot, or
mm,
just like it's harder for people to or you could I guess people can see it in adults if it's extreme, but the subtle ones, like the ones where that would previously have been diagnosed as Asperger's, I think that one you might think someone's very particular about their job, or they like things a certain way, or they're very anal, or
Yeah,
something
I
like,
know.
yeah. Instead of you won't it's harder to recognize in adults as well. So yeah, I
Mm.
think you get persecuted a little bit more. There's less excuse, not like excuse, but there's less grace. There's less grace for you as an adult.
Yeah, definitely, definitely less
Mm.
space. But do you know how in the previous book, My Sister's a Serial Killer, and we were saying that it would have been lovely to get other people's like a chapter from somebody else's point of view. In this book, I don't think we needed it.
No, that's what I was literally gonna. That's what I was doing side eyes because yeah, I didn't want it. I literally just wanted to
Yeah,
hear her voice.
yeah, I heard her voice, and to be fair, she knows how people view her because that's why she switches it up, and she'll
Mm.
say stuff like, "Oh, they don't think I'm cured," or stuff like that. So she knows how people look at her. And to
And
be
this
fair,
man
like
is
I've said,
screaming it in his face. You
exactly,
know, so
Shiraha is like almost like a mirror that's saying like, "You are old, infertile." You just shout these
invalid
things of,
mirror.
yeah, like just shout at her. You're just like, Lord, like look at you. But yeah, so talking. Let's move on to Shiraha as well because, like Lola said, he is the. I don't even want to really give him like an
So
antagonist, or he should be such a
literally,
minor character.
literally, I said in capitals, why would she invite him to live with her? That's
Like,
the introduction to him being in this. I was like, why?
and this all happened because she went to her friend's barbecue and her friends talked about her getting married.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, when did she even see Shiraha? He was just standing
He was
outside the
working there.
store being a creep.
Yeah,
No, because he
yeah.
got fired. He got fired, remember?
Oh,
So he was just lurking outside the store. By the way, guys, Shiraha is a pervert. He's
yeah.
weird. Like he is what you would call in today's language an incel, one of these people that believes in the red pill theory or whatever blue pill theory. He believes women are below him. He believes that men need to have money and like Stone Age things and all these other things. He's a weirdo.
This is a character that was very well written to be hated.
Yeah. There's no, there was nothing
No saving
about
grace.
him.
Nothing.
Even
Nothing.
when, even when Keiko tried to help us like him by saying, because
He's a
there's a point
pimp.
where no, do you know when the sister comes over and he steps out and makes an excuse for something to help the sister
Mm.
calm down? Even that, I still thought he's disgusting because he was
No,
living in
yeah.
the bathroom. He was living in
Bathroom
the
because
bathtub.
he tried to make it sound like he was being higher than her by living in her
Yeah,
bathtub.
while she was living with cockroaches. That's the. It's mad. But no,
So
no,
you
go
guys have
ahead,
to
take it
read
away.
this bizarre. But like, to be honest, I think it. Uh, he really annoyed me initially. Okay, him being there was good to highlight exactly where Keiko stands. Like, okay, yes, she's not part of society, but it's not like how this guy's not part of society. Like him said, he was basically like an incel actively fighting against
Society
trying to
rules.
actively be in isolation kind of pretentiously.
Yeah,
Whereas
because he's only trying
Keiko's
to be in isolation because he's in debt. That was the reason why he wants to be in isolation because he's in debt.
Whereas Keiko's in isolation because of her personality. She doesn't want to be. It just so happens that it's her personality. So
Mm.
I think that was the purpose of him being there. Do you think he needed to be there for that long?
No, like I really wanted something to happen. Every time she would go to work, I was hoping he'd left. So he stressed me out actually. He did stress me out because I was just
A little
like,
bit.
just go. And like when the sister-in-law turned up, I was thinking, okay, she's gonna take him,
Yes.
but she
Yeah.
didn't.
Then she was on his side. I was like, no.
Mm.
And
And
then
like even
he could
Keiko
code
was like,
switch. So he could
mm.
code switch. So he's not mad in the head. That's when I was like, oh,
No.
so there's nothing wrong with you. You're actually just an asshole. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
No.
Yeah, I think okay. So okay, let's put a bookmark. So from an objective point of view, what's happening here is she's got this man in her house and he is abusing. He's homeless. He's got a lot of debt. He's running from people. He's
Mm.
running. So that's actually why he wanted that to stay in her house because she's not connected to the world and he's hiding from the world.
Mm.
Um, and he can't be around people that will call him on his BS. So he
Mm,
is staying around her to feel the sense of power, to feel like a man, and then also for a shelter, for
mm,
shelter, for shelter and food, shelter and food because she feeds him as well.
yep.
From Keiko's point of view, she's trying to understand, like Kim said, so she has this friend who I broke down in the characters, and her friend's getting married, and her friends kind of accepted Keiko for who she is, kind of.
True.
Um,
Yeah.
so in there they meet up and Keiko's now assessing like she studies people's patterns of behavior. She's looking at their patterns and trying to understand why they do well. This is now me filling in the blanks for basically what I do. So she's studying people's patterns of behavior, trying to understand why they do things, if it's beneficial, if it works for her. So she's like, okay, let me test this out. Let me get this guy in. Everyone's saying that I need to be with someone. So she's like, okay, let me get this guy. He's in her mind, she can control the situation. She just sees him as a
Mm,
pet. She sees he's a whatless man.
yeah.
So she's like, okay, I can pander to whatever he's doing. It's no stress off her nose. For whatever reason, it's no stress off her nose. She would really wanted to just see what this whole thing is about. So she listens to him. He wants her to quit this convenience store job. He wants her to
Mhm.
conform and to start playing to society. So she's like, okay, let me entertain this fully. She quits the job. She becomes a bum like him. They start living in squalor and rubbishes and running out of money. And then now he's like, okay, go find a job. She goes looking for a job, and then she ends up on her way to the interview in another convenience store. And she's looking around the store. She's recognizing signs and points of
Because
weaknesses. And
just
she's like,
to interject here, because remember, when she was acting like a bum, she was actually quite depressed about the
yes,
fact that she wasn't working in the convenience store. Because the convenience store to her, like Lola said in the character bit, was almost like there's something she says about like her cells, the convenience store cells kind of like were merging into her cells. So she kind of feels like one and the same with the convenience store because it's so regimented. There's a rule book. She knows what she needs to do every day. So now when she left that job, she was depressed. That
it was
was
her
one thing.
foundation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It kept her grounded. So she's lost that. And so she's walking around. She's on her way to the interview. She goes into the shop and she sees a convenience store and she sees this kind of chaotic. I think because they had a new starter or something that didn't show up, but
Mm.
something was happening and it was kind of chaotic. So she's just helping around. The woman thinks she's weird, but she kind of appreciates it. She lets her carry on. And this man comes barging in and he's like, what are you doing?
Mm.
Screaming at her. But you've got to remember from Keiko's point of view, this is her pet.
Yeah.
She's literally called him her pet.
She doesn't respect him like that.
She does. So she's just like, okay, I've done this experiment. I was, like Kim said, I was depressed. I've come here and I figured out that the convenience store is actually what keeps me grounded. Like
Mm.
it's making my life make sense. So okay, society wants me to do X, Y, and Z. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Because she
So I
even says
think
that he doesn't work for her. And she's like, you
yeah,
don't work for me. I've tried it with you. It doesn't work.
yeah. So he has to now get out and find his own life. So he's now stressed because besides her sister visiting, his sister visits.
Mm.
And she finds out that's when we find out he's in debt and all of this stuff. So that's why Kim was like, "Oh, in a Western civilization, we would have followed him or seen what happened with him because he actually had, did he have a family or something or wife?
No, he had family. Because the situation was is that well that what he said or what the sister-in-law said because it was the sister-in-law that came to see him was that
Listen, no, that's it.
he
Yeah.
every time he had issues he would always go back to the family house but
Mm.
his brother got married and they moved into the family house so it was kind of like we don't have space for you anymore and
And
he
then
also didn't like the sister-in-law.
and no, because he took money from the brother or he
Yeah,
did something,
yeah,
so
he kept
they
taking money
burnt
from the
that
brother.
bridge. Yeah.
Mm,
She clocked T, so she kind of told her. So when she told Keiko took it on board, but just didn't do anything about it
mm,
until she was ready to do it. This is what I took from my ending,
okay.
because the ending's so open ended. You literally, he's in the middle of screaming at her, and that's it, and he storms
In the
off. That's it.
street, they're in the middle of the
Yeah,
street because I think he pulls her out of the convenience store.
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
literally violent. Like
Mm,
he gets very entitled. So he, like Kim said, he's a big creep. So I was kind of glad. It kind of showed like, okay, I've done this experiment. It didn't work for me. So what does it really mean to experience life and have a
mm,
fulfilling life? and all of that stuff. What does it mean to be a member of society? Because she is being a member of society, but I've been
Yeah,
in that convenience
hard-working
store.
member of society, to be fair.
Diligent hard worker.
She's not
So
causing any issues for society. She's not
no,
taking benefits. She's not, I don't know. I don't see what the problem is. And
yeah.
that's why at the end of the book, sorry, it's like in the beginning, I always liked Keiko because I was just like,
Mm,
even in this mad situation, which was stressing me out, you don't know this man from Adam. And
mm.
he has some very strange ideas. There was because I thought at one point he could like do something to her, but he didn't
Because
see
it's
her
so
as
dark, you
attractive.
didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know how far it was gonna go. Yeah,
Exactly, but
it was always
because
on edge.
she treated him like she saw him as the fact that because he was looking at her like you're beneath me, but she was looking at her like, no, you're beneath me. Like
Mm.
at least I have a place to stay. At that point, she had a job, so she didn't actually respect him. She was just like, yeah, you're a pet. She even said that she even called him a pet to his face, and he was shocked, but he couldn't actually say anything. That's why I was like, do you know what? When she stood up for herself in the end and basically said, like, look, like you don't actually do it for me. I tried it. This isn't working. I tried being a bum like you. That didn't work. So at least I can say I've done it. I'm gonna go back to the convenience store. And we don't even know if she could go back to that convenience store because she was only just randomly working there. She doesn't have a job. But I'm sure hopefully she can get a job.
And the
Because
reason why
one
she
thing,
can't go back to her original one is because the cracks when she brought this man in, they all started gossiping about her, and it
yeah,
cracked the rose-colored glasses that she had on.
talking about that, that's a good way to segue to a bit more about the, is it Smile Mart? Because that's the name of the convenience store.
Mm.
What are your thoughts about the employees? What are your when I was watching it, it reminded me of animes where it's those slice of life animes where it's about a store or something. And I was just like, I can see that character. I see that character.
Okay. In the
Mm,
beginning, I thought that slice of life,
okay.
but then in towards the end, I was like, they're bullying her.
Mm,
They're laughing at her, not with her.
interesting. I thought that as well, especially in the end, because I was just
Mm,
like, you guys have probably been talking about her like this the whole time, but
mm.
because it wasn't in her I don't want to say she was naive, but maybe she just wasn't caring about that
She
at
didn't
that
care.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gossip to her was annoying, so she wouldn't be listening for stuff like that until
yes.
it was about her.
Because to be fair, even when they were gossiping about Shiraha, even though she knew he was whatless, she was a bit annoyed that, and this is before she allowed him to move into the house. She was a little bit annoyed that they were talking about him so much. It was a bit like, yeah, he's gone now. Let's leave it alone.
Mm,
So yeah, you're right. She wasn't a fan of gossip, but I think at the end when she was like, oh, that the store was busy and the manager and Miss Uzumi were just in the back like
mm.
laughing and cackling about, but she doesn't say what about, but we as the reader know that they're probably laughing at the fact that why is she with Shiraha? Is she that desperate to be with Shiraha, considering the fact
Mm.
that Shiraha got fired because he was inappropriate with one of the customers or he was trying to follow one of the
Mm.
customers? And that's what I thought was really concerning that nobody was just like, babe, what are you doing?
They
Why
basically
are
said
you
this is
with
the
this
best.
man?
I thought that was so offensive. They basically said this is the best you can do. They were basically
Mm.
like saying that's the best you can do. Okay.
Even the
I got
sister, when that's when the sister lost me because I was thinking
mm,
when the sister came to visit and she starts to cry because she's like, "Oh my gosh, you can't be like." I think she knows that this is wrong, but then he comes out. And bear in mind, he's living in her bathtub. He comes out and says a couple of bars, which, to be fair, even in then weren't good bars. He says like, "Oh, that we
mm.
were arguing or something," and she locked me in the bathroom. I can't go to Lola's
You're
house
not
and she
thinking.
has a guy in a bathroom. He comes out and he's just like, "I'm so sorry, we're arguing," and Lola locks me in the bathroom. I'm like, "Okay, cool." Have a good day.
That's how I
I
thought.
would be
She
concerned.
she knew it was off, but she just like, you know what? She just wanted her sister to be with someone so she didn't
Mm.
have to worry about her, which I thought was very selfish.
It's very. So I
But
can
she
see
just
why
had a
some people
baby.
think it was sad because I
Hmm.
found the end of the book
But
quite
she was
sad.
in
Well,
peace
not
with
the end
herself.
really.
Yeah, because she
Yeah,
was in peace with herself. She did all what people asked of her, and she was like,
yep.
It's
She's
not
tried
for
it.
me."
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
tried it. I feel
like
like she's
I'm.
gonna go back to people and be like, "I tried it, so yeah, that's not
Mm,
worked. Goodbye."
she'll have more resolve in yeah, and just being who she is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked Keiko. I think she's quite a
yeah,
strong lead.
yeah. She's very strong.
Mm.
She's very aware more than people would give her credit for.
And that's what I quite liked about her. And I really enjoyed the way the author, and I don't know if she no, if she's neurodivergent like this or she's worked with people like this, but I
She
really loved the
must.
portrayal of her
Yeah, she
because it
must
was
have because
such a
it's so
good,
accurate.
authentic portrayal.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed just her as a character. I was like, oh, wow, Keiko, I want to be your friend. You probably won't want to be friends with me because I'll probably be too much for you, but I
Yeah, you'll
think
be
I
too
like you,
much.
Keiko.
Yeah, you'll be too much. But it's actually no, because you're funny. So yeah, no, she might like you.
Yeah, I like Keiko. I like
Uh,
Keiko.
Me and Keiko
No, go
wouldn't be
on.
friends, but I would like her.
Yeah, I
We
don't
couldn't
think she
exist
would.
together.
Yeah, it would be too much. I think, yeah, no,
How
I
would
don't
we
think you
exist
could.
together? Yeah. No, but I would
Both of
like
you are
her.
just copying each other.
No, I think we would respect each other. I don't even think we would do that. We will just enhance our probably our self-destructive ways or whatever. But I don't think we would. Yeah, we'll be too conducive to our own
Or do
insular.
you know,
We're too.
you might make her comfortable enough to vocalize some of the things she thought in her head, do you think? And do you
Yeah,
think
because she
you would be
keep she
able to
keep.
vocalize?
So if I'm
Mm,
feeling confused, and that's the thing, I don't like feeling confused. We got to figure this out.
So she's confused as well. So you both could figure it out.
Hmm. Yeah, we could probably have discussions about it, but I don't know if we,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think.
It probably
Yeah,
won't be constructive conversations about it, but I think it would be good.
because I think her friendship dynamic was right. She needed a friend like that, someone that just
Mm,
let her be, but then still invited her to social situations,
yeah,
key
they
moments
still
in her
invited her.
life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's actually true. She was. It's not like she was just left to the wayside. Considering everything,
Mm.
she was still invited.
So
So
she was
no,
bringing her out of her shell a bit, and I'm not sociable, so we'll just both be indoors, just texting each other
yeah, she'll be in the closet with the cockroaches, and you'll be in the bathroom in the bathtub.
in my clean house.
Mm, so bizarre, so bizarre.
But yeah,
So,
all in all, I love
mhm,
the consciousness of the book. That's why I didn't find it mundane. I found it very conscious. It was a breath of fresh air to me. Um,
mm,
and the dark humor, I recognize this dark humor. I think because we're
mm,
British, maybe that's
yeah,
why we recognize this humor.
true point. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Actually, maybe that's why we were just
Mm.
like, we get it. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
And I think, to be honest, the point about society and conformity is something that's really bugged me. So that I really liked her exploration of that and the ending. That's another reason why I like the ending because it was like, you know what, whatever works for you. That's the message I
Mm.
got. And it's like, yeah, man, it doesn't have to be so hard. So yeah, whatever works for you.
Yeah, and
So
it, you
yeah.
know where you just like you're right. It got to there was a point where it almost feels like everybody was forcing it. Like it's just like,
Mm.
nah, she's fine. She's been fine. She's
And like, why?
36.
Yeah, 36. Why are we waking up today and all fighting her?
Yeah, it's just like she's fine. Leave Keiko alone.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
rated it initially I rated it a 3.5 out of 5 because when I say my book at the end because it does literally feel like
yeah,
the just there's supposed to be
yeah,
another chapter.
yeah. It's
It
like, where's the
literally
rest? Where's the rest?
yeah. So it's like I was like, what? I think I flipped the pages back and forth and I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then I laughed. When I realized, oh no, that's the ending for real, I laughed. I was like, you know what? That's actually the tone of the book. How could it end
Mm.
another way? If it ended any other way, it would lower the score.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be Keiko. Because
Yeah.
remember, guys, the book is in Keiko's narrative.
Yeah, so I rate it 4 out of 5. If to get it to 5 out of 5, it just needed a little bit more. It didn't need to be more to the plot. It just needed to be
Mm.
a little bit longer, like
Yeah,
200
yeah.
pages maybe. So,
Yeah, it could have been a longer book. But I don't
yeah,
know if I don't know what I would want extended because I was a bit concerned about Shiraha. Like I felt,
more of the childhood stuff, more of
yes,
the
maybe the childhood or
yeah,
even just her and her friends, maybe.
yeah, just a little bit more. Like the plot doesn't have to change at all.
Yeah.
Just add a little bit more.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Flesh it out a bit more. Yeah, you're right. Because even the child bit, it was like very
Just
quick and then we
quick.
moved on
Yeah,
to when she was
yeah.
36.
Just to
Yeah, no.
explain literally why she's mimicking. What about you?
Well, I originally rated it a three because of the way it ended, and then you'll hear this in the voice note because I think I sent Lola a voice note about this. But Lola's got a phrase. I think it was our first episode where we talked about. I can't remember what the topic was. It was one of our picker mixes, and Lola was just like, if you feel like you're when you finish the book, like you're still in the book, then I think that's a good book or something. And I
Hmm.
finished the book. I went to sleep and I dreamt that I was outside the convenience store. And I even woke up and I was thinking about Keiko.
What convenience store? The first or the second one?
It was
Well,
the
you
second.
would.
It was the second one.
Oh, you're trying to catch the ending. You're like, no, I need an ending.
Yeah, it was the second one. Like, so I'm walking in the dream, I'm walking past the convenience store and she's gone back in after the fight with Shiraha. And
Okay.
she's messing around with the shelves. Well, not messing around because it's
Okay.
Keiko. She's sorting the shelves.
What's her
So
hair like for you?
in my mind, she's got a bob and a
Ooh.
fringe that goes to the side. Like it's a very like there's nothing out of place, and it just goes to like a side fringe. It's a
Okay, it's
bob.
kind of the same, but mine's shoulder length. You know when it kind of does that bell kind of curve,
Mm,
and then I was seeing that kind of
yeah,
fringe, side fringe as well, but
yeah,
that a little bit more shoulder length, like it touches the
so,
shoulders. That's what I was
yeah. That's what
seeing.
I had in my head. So good old
And
Keiko.
she's short, a little bit chubby,
Oh no, I had in my head that she was actual average height, average build. Yeah,
like a
yeah,
little
just
bit, yeah.
average. Yeah, just
That's why I
average.
said a little bit chubby, not chubby, but a little bit. Like I don't see her as like yeah, literally
Mm. So
just
yeah,
shrimp,
that's
but
it. But
very
yeah,
endearing. I see her as very
yes,
endearing.
I see her as like just like, like I feel like I think in the dream I was like okay go. I was like
And then Shirahara just looks dirty and he's tall and scraggly, even though I don't think he's
stunning.
tall, but in
Like
my
he
head he's
reminds
tall and
me
scraggly.
like if you watch animes and like those dirty, creepy, like their eyes are bulging. That's the kind of vibe I was getting. He was in my head. He looked like an anime character, whereas she looked like a real person.
Oh, so in
I'm
my
pretty sure.
head he was like a tall, scraggly. Who am I picturing? Like Lemony Snicket, kind of, because he was
Ah,
that
okay.
same of possessive. Like, why are you trying to take over her life?
Bearing in mind he's not bringing anything to it,
Literally
considering
dictating
he's
her
not a
life, trying to give her
catch.
advice. You don't have a
He's
job.
not a
Trying to tell
catch.
me to get a job, leave a job, get a job.
Talking about Stone Age and all this other nonsense. Nah, but like I really
Give a
enjoyed it, and I
fuck.
like the themes of like like normal season that are Beholder, like the society's ownership of the female body, um, the
To do
more
that in such a
things,
short book as well, to
yeah,
explore it
the
so
big
well.
chunks of like
Mm,
the really big themes. Like I would, it could be a quite a good one of those books that you do like your teacher gives you to like break down. I really enjoyed the themes in it. But yeah, so I've now
mm,
rated it a 4. I don't usually like to change my reviews, but I had to give it a 4 after dreaming about Keiko.
mm. So yeah, it's very polarizing, but yeah, I think most people don't like it either because they don't get the humor side or they don't like the ending. The ending really
Mm.
throws them off.
Read receipts. Do you want to go first or should I go first? I guess because we like the book, should I do the bad review?
Yeah.
So this was by Katie Colson. She rated this a 1 star on the 25th of August 2022. Well, she actually rated a 1.5 star. So her review says, wait, what? I'm genuinely so confused as to why this gets such a fantastic rating. I did not go into this book expecting an incel to be a main character. I hated that inclusion and its refusal to exit the narrative. Why was he so prevalent? I know, I was stressed about him too, babes. This man would not stop telling the main character how she was a woman and meant to be pretty and get married and make food and care for children, and the only thing she was good for was her womb. He consistently stated that men had it worse than women in every way, and that she wouldn't understand how hard life is for him because women wouldn't throw themselves at him. It was beyond disgusting. I seriously do not understand why people love this book so much. Please sound off in the comments if you did love it and what I was missing. Wow, she fully just missed the whole beginning of the book because I would love to be humbled. I really want to know. I did very much enjoy our main character and the representation of her neurodivergence. That was clearly written as a first person narrative, and I love to see it. Raising it from 1 star just for her. Remember, it's a 1.5, guys. But the incel ruined the book completely. She had 199 likes.
Interesting.
Somebody responded to her, well, I won't be reading this then. I'd slap that man for real.
It does
Um,
make you want to.
Somebody else responded, I think that the point of that, and which is a good point, I think that the point of that Despicable Man was to be a realistic depiction of men or society expectations of women, and how whether he himself fits expectation doesn't matter, as at the end of the day, the focus will always fall back on that woman who does things her own way and doesn't care about everyone else's opinions, expectations. Which is, yeah, I feel like as much as he was a jarring character, he was needed not just for the whole men versus women thing, but also to kind of show how Keiko might have been viewed as well by others. I do think he was necessary. He pissed me off, and the author made us hate him, which was good and it worked. But I think he was necessary.
Initially, I agreed. I remember I asked, do you think he needed to be in there that long? So
Mm,
initially, I was thinking, did he need to be in there that long? But then, like I said, when I break it down as it was to mirror her as well, kind of.
mm.
Um, yeah, I don't. And then I didn't really mind it afterwards. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
because he was
get.
pitiful, really.
Yeah,
And she looked at him
yeah,
like he was pitiful. My girl
yeah.
called him a pet to his face.
So the 5-star review was by Coco. So she actually read this in December, but she wrote the review in June, so in December 2022. So she said, loved it. Perfectly illustrated social commentary on how society expects certain things from everyone, and when they don't comply, they call you abnormal and think you need fixing. The reality is, you can be incredibly happy doing what you believe you've been born to do, but still, it may not be enough for society. Society wants you to earn more, have a respectable job, get married, have babies, etc. Even if none of that appeals to you, and if you don't, you're seen as less than. I think this book describes that exactly in a very fun and light-hearted way. Shiraha can fuck off though. And then someone responded, it got 206 likes, but then someone responded, what part of this book did you think was fun or light-hearted exactly?
Oh my gosh, I love the way some people get dark humor and some people really don't. Like,
I was
oh,
like,
gosh,
it was funny.
it
I was
was.
actually laughing at bits. So it was funny.
I wasn't full like tears laughing, but I did like do a little
Chuckle,
chuckle.
yeah,
Yeah, I chuckled or smiled because
yeah.
like even when she talked about picking up the knife for the baby, even that made me, I was a bit shocked, but I did kind of laugh because like Lola said,
Mm,
it's one of those mad thoughts that you wouldn't say at all or even voice that you've
mm,
thought about.
mm.
But because Keiko's Keiko, she's just like, if you want to stop the baby crying, let's just use this knife.
I would have never shared that I had those thoughts too until Kim's responded actually because I was like, oh my God, someone else actually thinks like this. And I'm just thinking the author must think like this for her to know how to put that in.
Yeah. No, but
I'm like,
it's one of those things. It's like, why don't you just stop? Like, just stop. Like, it was such a logical, a bit much, but it's a very logical, very one way to think about things. But yeah, I agree with the 5-star rating. Well, no,
mm,
not five, four.
not
Four. I'll
five,
give
but
it four.
yeah.
But to be fair, I don't like to give out five for anything really.
Oh,
Mm. I always think you can't achieve because five is perfection.
what did you give Piranesi?
Oh, I don't know. What did I give Prometheus? Can you imagine if I gave it five after all of that talk? Let me
I'm
just go
pretty
to
sure
my
you did.
Goodreads. Nah,
I'm
no,
sure
no,
you did.
please. Nah, I gave it four. I gave it four.
Oh, damn. Have you
Yeah, I
never
gave it
given a
four.
book a 5-star? You,
Uh,
you gotta have standards. You don't
uh,
know what you like?
oh no, I need to change that rating. I gave Fourth Wing a
No,
5-star. I
see,
need to
yes.
calm down.
You gave Piranesi a 4.
I need to calm the hell down. Yeah, you know when you need to review your ratings, not in comparison. No,
You gotta have a
sorry.
standard,
I
mate.
might need
See,
to
that's what
change
I'm
that to.
saying.
I need to change that to a three. Like, because
I've got
that was.
qualifiers. There's certain things that will
Mm.
make you qualify in certain bands.
Gosh, nah, that was wild. I was sorry, guys. That's because I was just getting into books. That's why. Like, and
Yes,
I
apologize.
really like the dragons. I'm sorry, guys.
No, we liked the first book. I'm not even gonna
It's
lie. Even
true.
I like Fourth Wing.
It's true.
It
It's
was the
true.
second book that I am flavor. I never seen something fall from grace so quickly.
Mm.
Because I'm not even gonna lie. Even the smart, because it is smart. Even the smart
Unnecessary.
in Fourth Wing.
Lightning. Pew
No,
pew
in
pew.
Fourth Wing wasn't too bad. Normally I skip all that. But
Mm.
like I didn't mind it in Fourth Wing. There's a war going on. They're in the meeting room, the war room. This is not the
Mm.
time.
Don't
This
have
is
time
not
for
the
this.
time. So
Don't have
yeah.
time for this at all. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, we veered right, of course.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for listening. I know I say this every time. This is a short episode, and I hope you enjoyed the format. I don't know, Lola, how did you feel about the way we did it? Like this conversation, instead of me doing plot points, how did you find us just talking about the book and doing our last thoughts like this? Or do you think because it was so short, it worked? Or do you think a longer book you would have to do plot points?
Because it was so chaotic, the book. Even though it's not
Mm,
chaotic, it works. But I think no, because we there's I think if we explained the plot, it wouldn't have made a difference, basically.
true.
For
True.
this book.
It's
But
true.
I
It's
think
true.
certain books you do need to explain the plot, especially when we
Yeah.
do. those complicated ones or the big chonkers. You do kind of need
Yeah,
to
like
explain the
proper
plot.
story novels. Yeah.
Yeah, but for this book, yeah, it definitely worked because us explaining the plot, yeah, it's
But
just
I think
as
we would have explained the plot and just been
in a
talking.
straightforward way.
We
Yeah,
would just been talking.
I think it did work, and it definitely should be one episode.
Definitely. If it's not, I don't know what I'm doing because I'm editing again, guys. I'm editing again. We're taking it in turns, but because I'm traveling
Because
to
she's going to
Japan,
Japan. Oh my God, how have we not made that reference
I
this whole
know that I'm going to Japan. So Lola's gonna take over the editing the next time round. But
time? Yeah,
no,
so the next book is
yeah. What is the next book? Because I actually don't know what the next book is.
The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Okay, doke. So
So
you heard
again,
it here first.
that's a quite a big book, so that's definitely going to be a
Lord.
two-parter.
So thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. Share this episode with everybody that you know. Follow us on Instagram at turnthepage.pod. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at turn.the.page.pod. Apologies about the name, guys, because I had to find a way to distinguish it. But yeah, follow us everywhere. We're also on Apple Podcasts as well. If you listen to podcasts on there, remember, give us 5 stars, comment, subscribe, like, follow, all the good things. And it's 5 stars, 5 stars only. Or else we'll do what, Lola?
She'll
Come on.
cuss you.
There we go. Do you say that she'll cuss you or will cuss you?
No, you cuss. I'm not cursing no one. I don't want to
Is it?
calm a
It's true.
bitch.
I do the pharmacist curse. My pharmacist curse, because I'm a pharmacist, is you get diarrhea and
What?
constipation.
No, no, no.
That's the
What's going on
pharmacist
here?
curse.
Don't put that out there. I won't say listen to this for the voice note.
Toodles.
Yeah, I really liked it. When I was uh telling people I was reading it, I was getting some mixed reviews. One of my friends hated the ending, and then another friend, she actually really liked it, but she was reading like Miyako. I've got one of her books, Heaven, but it's just like that um there's like a topic. I don't know. I don't even know what that topic is. Well, it's just there's a tone. Yeah, there's a tone you get from Japanese books. Sometimes you get a tone which is basically bizarre, but you just got to go for the ride, and it ends up being a decent ride if you get with the vibe. You have to get into the vibe. That's it. You have to get into the vibe.
I get what you mean about the divisiveness because I had rated this at a 3, and then I thought about it. And you know that thing where you said that if the book impacts you or like leaves you with like you're still left in the book or something. I can't remember. There's a phrase that you said, and I think I went to bed after reading it, and I was dreaming about walking past a convenience store, and I even woke up thinking about the book, and I was like, do you know what? I think this is a 4. I wish I could give. Yeah, I think it's a 4. I was just about to say 3.5, but no 4. But yeah, I can see why it's divisive, but I think I liked it, but we'll see.